and gentlemen, today's very special guest is Miss Marqucia Beasley. We're going to talk about family and career. We're going to talk about the growth in Nashville. We're going to talk about real estate in Nashville. We're also going to talk about a few non-negotiables to success. You don't want to miss this one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. TBR Live. Interesting conversation with interesting people. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Our very special guest today is Miss Marqucia Beasley. We're going to talk about life and career. We're going to talk about making some money or tell some jokes. I'm not sure how this is going to go. We're going to have a good time. Welcome to the show, Miss Marqucia.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Who is Marqucia Beasley?
Well, Marqucia Beasley, maiden name Marqucia Sloss. I am a Nashville native. Grew up out North Nashville off of Cannon. So I was born and raised here. I am a wife and a mother of four, and I have a daughter-in-law, so a mother of five. And I have a pet named Casey, my little pug dog. But hey, born and raised here.
Okay.
It's a little bit about me.
Okay, so
Mhm.
being a native, how do you think our town looks now versus back in the day when we were growing up here? What do you think?
Yeah. So me being from North Nashville, the neighborhood is starting to look totally different from the way it looked when I grew up. And hey, I loved North Nashville when I was growing, but definitely the scenery is changing. The houses, some had, wood house, stone houses or whatever to HBRs, or people say the tall skinny. It's becoming a little bit more commercialized. You see more businesses up and down Buchanan Street. Out North Nashville, you will see more of the commercial properties or the businesses close to Jefferson. On Jefferson now, they're kind of everywhere. Have the apartment style homes, studio homes, and things like that. We didn't have that when we were growing up. We had single family homes. So the neighborhood has definitely changed. When I drive by, sometimes I'm like, whoa, when did they put this here? So
Yeah.
it's definitely changing.
Okay,
Mhm.
the growth in this town. What do you think? Good, bad? We have tons more traffic than we used to. What do you think about the growth in this town?
I'm all for growth, but I'm also for affordable homes. I'm also for people not being forced out of their neighborhoods. Definitely not for the property tax increase. My grandmother just moved out of her home at 95 years old, and she was in North Nashville. So I do believe that the area should still be affordable, and people shouldn't be able have to just vacate their homes because they're not affordable. As far as the new businesses, again, I'm all for growth as long as they're bringing jobs, to the area. I'm never for traffic. So, we expand or the neighborhood grows, whatever, we do have to figure out traffic. I'm like, Buchanan has 2 lanes. Okay, we're putting a business like every week. What are we going to do about that?
Mhm.
So definitely for growth, definitely do not want to see the tax increase. Definitely do not feel that people should have to vacate their homes because they're not affordable. That's the neighborhood I grew up in, and definitely want to continue to see people that look like me in the neighborhood.
Right, right, no doubt, no doubt. Okay, so real estate, that's
Mhm.
your area, right? Real estate
Mhm.
is your thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yep.
so pre-pandemic versus I can't say post because we're still in the middle of it. What was it like before? How was business before the pandemic, and how was business during?
So, before things were fine. I mean, I think maybe every 10 years or whatever, this is just my personal opinion, we kind of see a slowdown. People are questioning what's going to happen with the upcoming election. You know, you'll see um, interest rates drop a little bit or whatever. That's the norm. So things maybe had slowed down a little bit, just a little bit. But then too, we had the holiday seasons, and of course January, things kind of slow down around that time frame anyway. So you had the season change, and then you have the upcoming election. There's a kind of slowdown on top of a slowdown, two different things. So things were fine before the pandemic. Things have been really great during the pandemic. I mean, it's crazy, interest rates are at a all-time low. I closed the deal. My client got a 2.75 interest rate. He's not a veteran, but I think VA, if you're a veteran, you can get in the twos anyway. Things have been great. Property value has not decreased. We're actually, to me, in a seller's market, meaning that there's not a lot of homes available or supply, but you have a lot of buyers out there. So people are getting in bidding wars and overpaying for properties or whatever. So as far as Davidson County, this market is still booming, and it's more affordable for people. I tell people a 5% interest rate and a 3% interest rate or a 2.7 interest rate is a big difference in payment, So things have been great. During the pandemic, it's like all the essential workers are buying houses, or if people are still employed or whatever, this is their opportunity to buy. A lot of mortgage companies, well, banks or whatever, has offer grants. There's still some down payment assistance programs available or whatever for these first time home buyers. So a lot of those essential workers or whatever are utilizing, these programs. So the market, I think that you may see a little slowdown, a little bit, and maybe touching counties, but Davidson County is on fire, So it's like we're not even in a pandemic.
Okay. Don't let me forget to ask you about
Mhm.
first-time home buyers. I'm gonna ask you about something else first. Don't let me forget first-time home buyers. Okay, so
Okay.
if
Okay.
I want to get into real estate, if I decide that
hmm
I want to jump in and I want to be a realtor, what's the first step? What do I have to
Well, I think you need to pray first. This is my thing. So before I became a real estate agent,
do? Uh-huh.
I was like 20 years finance. I tell people that I'm a little different than maybe typical realtor, whatever. I do have a finance background. And so kind of, I have sales experience. I did a lot of selling all those years as well. I also did residential lending. I worked in the mortgage department, so I was very familiar, with the way things kind of worked. So really, all I had to do was just kind of learn the ins and outs and take the test. So I definitely say pray to see if it's for you. I always tell people it's more, if you want to get into real estate, it's more than just being a real estate agent. You have people that do inspections, you have surveyors, you have appraisers, stage photography. Find out what your passion is first. Real estate being a realtor can be really hard. And y'all, it's realtor, not realtor. So it's realtor. Being a realtor can be really hard. You work before you get paid. It depends on what type of clients you have, it's just whatever. So
Yeah.
if you're not a people person or anything like that, this may not be the job for you. But if you are a people person and you don't mind approaching people, doesn't matter where you are, talking to them about real estate, being honest and upfront, and being okay with people telling you no, then you can do this. But some people come and sit with me and they'll ask me, how do you get in real estate or whatever? And I'll tell them. And sometimes it's based on, if they're like, well, I don't talk to people, or I'm not sociable, or I can't do this, I can't do that. And I said, well, this may not be for you. But if you come and you say, hey, I'm willing to learn, put my all into it, I know how to sell. If not, somebody can teach me. I'm not scared of the no. the competitive market, whatever, then I'm gonna say, hey, this may be for you. So the first thing is to pray about it and really evaluate yourself and just really figure out if this is the line of work for you, because it's not easy. Everybody thinks that realtors make all the money in the world and they buy fancy cars or whatever, but they don't understand when you can't sleep at night, or the stress that may come with it or whatever. And that's not to discourage anybody. That's just me keeping it real. It's hard work. Being an entrepreneur by itself is hard work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
clients just don't come. You have to really work your business, and grow your business. So, when I was in school, I think they said maybe at that time, 75% of people in the class will not make it through the first year. And I know some people that's taking their real estate exam or whatever, figured out it wasn't for them. So first step is pray about it. I'm sorry. First step is
Right.
pray about it and figure out if this is the line of work. The next step would be finding a school. What school that what you want to go to. Some people are good with school online. Some people want to sit in a classroom setting. And then after that, you have to figure out what company you're going to go to. So it's not hard steps. It's just you. Can you really do the work?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Riley. I thought that I had cut my phone off.
No problem.
So working, even doing the interview.
No problem. No problem at all. I'm good with that. So entrepreneurship in general.
Okay.
This is a silly question, but I run into this kind of thing all the time. So let me ask you what you think. What should be the motivator? The money that you can make, or the job itself?
I think both. And I'm not gonna lie. you know, um, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm not gonna lie. For me, when I was in banking and finance or whatever, I always had sales goals and things like that, and I always met my goals. But when you consistently meet your goals and you keep the same pay, I'm like, no, wait a minute. I mean, at the end of the year, it's time for you to get your raise and get your bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I motivated myself. I'm very competitive, with myself. And my husband has said before, every time I said I was going to do something, I do it. So I'm a person, I used to give up on everything. I have not always been like this, but I'm more motivated and determined now than anything. I think what made me become more motivated and determined is, my kids were getting older and I didn't want them to always give up or just settle or whatever. So I'm like, maybe if they see mom do it, they'll keep pushing to be great or whatever, no matter what. So to me, as far as the pay, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got tired. I'm like, what kind of raise is this? And I've been working my butt off, I could go and work for myself. But then it is loving what you do, because you can't just do it for money. Because if you do it for money, you really don't have a passion for what you're doing. You're not gonna like that either. So I think it's a little bit of both. You have to love or at least like what you do, and then like the money, as well.
Okay, that's about the best answer anybody's ever
I'm
given me
being
in my
real
life.
with you.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you love something that you do, but you can't? It's not benefiting you really financially. That's not me. Like I said, I have children, so I have to have a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I got you. So
hmm
how do you
hmm
balance family, faith, entrepreneurship? Because work, going to a job and building your own thing
hmm
are completely different worlds. So how do you
hmm
balance all of that stuff?
Yeah. Well, I'm keeping it real with you. I'm not always balanced. I try my best to balance. It's hard because when I first got into this, you know, field or whatever, I mean, I worked every day, all day, and it was just exhausting. And so I finally said, I'm going to take Sundays off. That's my time to spend with my family, watch church or go to church or whatever. So it's still hard, not only, am I a real estate agent and have all these other responsibilities. I'm a caregiver. I take care of my 96-year-old grandmother. So sometimes it's getting in the bed really, really early to getting up really early in the morning just to get your day started, um, you know, checking my daughter's work, or texting the other kids, or just telling my husband, hey, good morning, or whatever, doing all that. Then I may leave out for work. Then I'm gonna have to come back and finish up my chores or what I have to do. Then once I exercise or do that, then I have to go back and finish up work. So I just try to really take what's more important to the least important. And if it's something I can roll over to the next day, then so be it. Also, I have a transaction coordinator that works. She helps me. So she I close all those deals. It's not just me. And I do believe once you possibly make a certain amount of money or get to a certain level, you have to invest in yourself or you will go crazy. You cannot do it all. You just can't. You can't be at two places at one time or whatever. So I do have a couple of other agents. If I'm in Murfreesboro and somebody needs to see a house in Nashville, I could call them. Or if I'm on vacation, whatever, I try to keep my business going. But I do have somebody that does all my paperwork. She schedules everything for me or whatever. And my clients love her. So I do have help when it comes to the business side. And it's something that I prayed when this pandemic happened, I was like, Lord, please let me still be able to pay Sydney, and everything has been fine. She's still with me. So I'm able to keep my business going instead of sitting at my desk doing paperwork all day.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So
Mhm.
you are among people that I know who are greatly successful. And when I use that word, I mean you're
Mhm.
doing what you do, and you're still doing it. A
Mhm.
lot of
Thank
people
you.
start
Thank you.
but won't finish.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. So, what would be
Mhm.
your three non-negotiables in terms of being successful in life?
What do you mean my non-negotiables? I,
These
I,
things have to
I
happen.
don't know. I don't know if this makes sense, but one would be I'm not going to lose myself. Huh?
Okay, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, so let me just say this. I'm gonna take it personal and on a business level. So I'm saying I'm not gonna forget to take care of myself. That's not negotiable.
Okay.
If I'm not, I don't know. I used to say this, and I don't know, but this is just me. It used to be God, then my husband, then my children, then my clients. I'm like, okay, I'm nowhere in the equation. That's not working. So it's like God, then me. I have to take care of myself to be there for my husband and be there for my children and be for my clients. So I've added me second, in the equation. So I have to take care of me. And what I mean, health and everything. Two, I have to keep a relationship with God. It's like one day. I'm not giving up my Sundays. I'm not saying I won't work in the evening or something like that, but that's just my quiet time with my family for me to get my mind right and
Mhm,
things like that for the next week. You gotta take some time out to recuperate, whatever.
mhm.
Um, I would say three. I'm going to be honest and upfront, no matter what, whether I gain the client, keep the client, lose the client, whatever. I want my business is kind of referral based now, and it didn't just happen that way. It's like, hey, I'm going to be upfront with you. This is what we're not going to do. Because at the end of the day, I want you to move in your home and be able to call me and say, hey, I'm happy, or hey, this is going well, or hey, I'm sending you business or whatever, So I think there are some ethical things, that I'm always gonna be up and upfront and honest, and they always say, my name is Marquisa, but Kisa, my little saying is Kisa gets the keys. They always say Kisa's gonna keep it with you. She's approachable. She's nice. She's not too professional. Whatever. So I'm gonna remain the same, and all of that, being trustworthy and honest with my clients and remaining the same. I like to have fun. I'm silly. None of that is gonna, change. So I'm not gonna let the business change who I am.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so
Mhm.
probably don't know this, but I'm a bit of an instigator. So I have to ask this question
Oh,
because I typically ask people stuff like this. So in November,
okay.
if you
hmm
were elected president, what's the
hmm
first two things that you'd get done?
Oh, wow. Well, this these police killings or whatever. I am a black woman, a proud black woman, brown woman. I have children, but the police killings and just it wouldn't happen. I mean, that would be the first thing that I would target. This is what people have to understand. Life is more important than anything. Anything, and until we all just get on one accord, life is precious, so that would be the first thing that I would tackle, off the top, so uh second thing, I would probably go, and like I said, life is more important than anything to me. It would be healthcare. It would definitely be healthcare. We're minorities. I've been reading about, there's more African American women that die even when giving birth, or, we have diabetes, we have high blood pressure. So even with healthcare, probably just nutrition overall or whatever, but everyone should be able to afford healthcare and go to whatever doctor they're in need of, to be better and to live longer. So definitely the police brutality, killings, and things like that. That's a must off the top, and definitely, healthcare system.
Okay. All right. I only have a couple
Hmm.
more things, and then I'll let you go. First thing, first time
Hmm.
home buyers. If somebody is ready
Hmm.
or they think they're ready to own a
Hmm.
home and all that kind of stuff, what are the first couple things that they need to kind of either get prepared for, or the first couple things they need to do in order to start that process?
Well, the first thing they need to do is call Marqucia Beasley at 615-339-3101. But the first thing is to reach out, whether you're reaching out to a realtor, you're reaching out to a lender. I've been around, and I told you I worked in mortgages or whatever, so I kind of know sometimes based on the conversation that the clients that we have, which direction they need to go. But you know, um, there are programs that you can get financing for with a credit score as low as 620. You know, there are conventional products out there. You have the housing fund, you have THDA. A lot of lenders have in-house 100% programs. There's just a lot of different things out there for you. But the higher the credit score, the better. The more you can qualify for, better. And then you can kind of have your option, or whatever. If you've been on your job for a little bit, you've had some stable employment or whatever. And two, with these lower interest rates, I'm telling everybody, even if you're not ready now, reach out to somebody. You never know. You may be ready now. Stop just trying to think on your own and do things on your own. You're not the lender. So just reaching out and just getting the different information about the different programs. Um, we're in a time right now with lower interest rates that more than likely we can possibly beat what you're paying in rent, or at least meet your rent. So when you're renting, kind of just throwing your money out the window. When you purchase, this is a long-term investment for you. It's wealth, building wealth or whatever. So the first thing is get on that credit score, and reach out to somebody that's more knowledgeable about, what what the requirements are for the different programs.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
The,
and
yes.
stop. And one other thing, stop trying to do credit repair on your own. Reach out to somebody. Everything doesn't have to be paid off on your credit. That's why I said reach out to the lender, or myself, or someone that's knowledgeable that will put you in the right direction. This is not a guessing game. You don't have to have it, as people say, A1 credit, two-person house. So until you talk to somebody you don't know, while you're trying to figure it out, you're wasting time.
Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Okay. So before I let you go,
Hmm.
do you have anything that you are promoting at this time? Writing a book or speaking tours, or you got anything going on that you wanna promote?
I do not at this time. I usually have my real estate info session every year in February. This annual info session. I think we may end up having it in October. Not for sure yet. I will definitely let you know, but it will definitely be something virtual. we have a guest speaker every year and try to focus on something different every year. So we've had a representative for the title company to come in and talk about those long documents you sign that scares everybody at closing. We've had an appraiser come in. We've had a probate attorney come in. So this year, I think the info session is going to be more about credit, but I will definitely let you know because that's what we need to be trained on right now. Other than that, I have transferred over to a company called the Hammonds Group. We are located in Nashville. The special thing about this company is that we have two appraisers that work at our company. Corey Hammonds, he is a commercial appraiser, and Ted Endy is a real estate appraiser. You hardly ever see a lot of brown people that's appraisers, but my company does offer appraisal services.
Okay, very good. All right,
Mhm.
so one more time, if we
Mhm.
want to find you and we want to do business with you, how do we contact you again?
It's just, hey, so I'm simple, a simple phone call away. It's 615-339-3101. It's Marqucia Beasley, and I am with the Hammonds Group in Nashville, Tennessee.
Fantastic. All right, that's all we have for today. Thank you
Mhm.
very, very much for being on the show. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Good talking to you.
Okay. Okay, have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.